This video is going to review the three methods for solving proportions that you saw in lesson 5.4. The first one is to use mental math. So you can think about if you can figure out using multiplication or division. So in our proportion we have 11 to 4 is equivalent to m to 16. So we can think about the idea that 4 times 4 equals 16, so we would multiply 11 times 4 to get the value of m, so m equals 44. Method 2 is using the multiplication property of equality. So when we look at that, we have the proportion a to 4 is equivalent to 15 to 12. So we really look at the first side where the variable is in this one as a being divided by 4. And so the multiplication property of equality says we can multiply both sides by the same number and our equation will stay balanced. And so since a is being divided by 4, to undo the divided by 4, just like we did when we were solving equations, we can multiply by 4. If we multiply by 4 on that side of our equation, we have to multiply by 4 on the other side. These 4's will cancel out. It's a divided by 4 and a multiplying by 4 to leave a alone. And then we have this problem. If it helps you, you can write that whole number as a fraction or a ratio of 4 to 1. I'm going to simplify before I multiply, so I'm going to factor out these 4's. There's 1 4, there's 3 in here. I'm going to go ahead and multiply my numerators, multiply my denominators, and then simplify 15 divided by 3 equals 5. So a equals 5. All right, now we have 2 to 3 is equivalent to v to 18. So I need to multiply both sides by 18 since v is being divided by 18. So here's my multiplying by 18. These will cancel out, leaving v isolated or alone. Over here again, I'm going to write that over 1 just so my brain sees it a little easier. I'm going to simplify before I multiply by factoring out the 3's. There's 6 3's in an 18, 1 in a 3. When I multiply my numerators, 6 times 2 equals 12. Denominators 1 times 1 equals 1, so v equals 12. Method 3 of solving proportions is to use the cross products property. So we have the ratio 8 to n is equivalent to 11 to 22, so we're going to do cross products, so 8 times 22 and n times 11. So we end up with 11n. When we multiply 8 times 22, we get 176. We want to isolate our variable n. It's currently being multiplied by 11, so we're going to divide by 11. The multiplication property of equality says we need to divide by 11 on both sides. These will cancel out, leaving n alone, and 176 divided by 11 is 16. Here we have 10 to 3 is equivalent to 8 to k, so we're going to do cross products again. We have 10k is equivalent to 3 times 8, so we end up with 10k is equivalent to 24. K is being multiplied by 10, so we're going to divide by 10. Those will cancel out, and k equals 2 4/10. All right, we are just going to use mental math on these to figure out our missing variable in our in our first ratio. So we have a to 40 is equivalent to 3 to 10. So I'm just going to use mental math and kind of go backwards, thinking 10 times 4 equals 40. So I'll be doing 3 times 4, so a equals 12. And this one I'm going to go from 11 to 77. I'm going to think 11 times 7 equals 77. So 6 times 7 will give me c equals 42. In this last one, 13 times 5 gets me to 65. So 7 times 5 will give me the value of b, which is 30. Cross products again. So we have k to 6 is equivalent to 8 to 16. So I'm going to do k times 16. I have 16k equals 6 times 8. 16k equals 48. Dividing both sides by 16, and k equals 3. All right, definitely want to use cross products if you're seeing a decimal. It's a little easier than trying to figure out mental math. So we have we're going to do our first cross product. 5 and 4/10 each equals 7 times 27. So 5 and 4/10 each equals 189. I'm going to divide both sides by 5 and 4/10. Those will cancel out. H equals 35. And our final one, you're going to see this on your assignment today, a problem similar to this, so make sure you're paying attention. We are going to solve with cross products, and so this is going to reach back into your distributive property knowledge. So our first cross product is going to be 8 times y plus 2, and so I'm going to use a different color so you can see. I'll have 8 times y plus 2. I'm just going to leave it like that for right now. Equals 11 times 4. Okay, so I'm going to start simplifying. So I have to distribute my 8 to each part of that equation inside, or expression inside the parentheses. So I'm going to end up with 8y plus 16 equals 11 times 44, or times 4 equals 44. So now I have a two-step equation. Remember, I want to get rid of the constant first, so I have plus 16 that I want to get rid of, so I'm going to subtract 16 from both sides. These cancel out to leave me with 8y. 44 minus 16 equals 28. Now I need to divide both sides by 8 to solve for y. Those are going to cancel out, and y equals 3.5. Remember, you can use your calculator for any of these problems. Okay, last one, use the information in the table to solve for x. So I'm going to set up a proportion. So I'm going to say for 3 bracelets, I need 48 inches of yellow twine. And I'm trying to figure out how many bracelets I can make, that's x, if I have 80 inches of yellow twine. So I'm going to use cross products again because I don't see an easy way to go from 48 to 80 with mental math. So my first cross product, 3 times 80 equals 48x. 3 times 80 is 240. Okay. To solve for x, or isolate x, I'm going to divide by 48. Property of equality says I need to do it on both sides. X is now alone, and it equals 5. If you want to rewrite it as x equals 5, okay too. All right, your job today is Big Ideas Assignment Lesson 5.4. Yes, you need to show your work when you are using the multiplication property of equality to solve, and when you are using cross products. If you're using mental math, there wouldn't be work to show because you're just using some mental math. After your assignment, today is a good day to review your notes from Chapter 5, add details, highlight color, remember the curve of forgetting. If we go back to our notes, you have a better chance of learning to remember. There are also some Chapter 5 Explore More options in the Chapter 5 module if you need some practice on the concepts from Chapter 5. Have a great day.